We're there. It's like coming down the birthing canal. We're live. Hello, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Welcome, all of you Hollow students. We're here today on Teacher Sky's live stream. Teacher Sky, hello, welcome. I am from United States. Yes, USA, America. Where are you from? I would like to know. Oh, Ada, Ada, you're first to class. Yeah, I always want to call you Ada because it starts with an A. I don't know why that is. But it's Ida, like Mount Ida. You guys know Mount Ida? It's where all the diamonds are, right? Oh, I have a crystal from Mount Ida. Look at that thing. Yeah. This is from Arkansas. We have crystal mines in Arkansas. You can go there and just dig them out of the ground. Some of them are huge, master crystals, they call them. Aren't they cool? Ida. Hello, son. Priyanka. Hello, Alexander. You waited a long time to chat, Alexander. You waited. I hope you can talk. You're from Norway? Oh, I'd love for you to come up. I would love to hear about your country. I love Norway. San is here. Ida, I'm good. Yes, I was really sore yesterday. The day before, I took this really long hike with my girlfriend. We hiked along the Arkansas River. Yes, it's a very big river. And we hiked along the river. There's they call it a river walk or boardwalk. Have you heard that word? Yeah, and we walked and walked and walked and walked. I was so sore. I also had blisters on my feet. So yesterday I was in pain, but I'm better today and healthier, happier. Get out from in front of your computers, guys. It's a good idea. I was going to turn to stone sitting here at the computer and just not be able to move. Have you ever felt that way? Get out and walk. I'm doing much better. Oh, Shamsuddin, good. Come on up. Like to see you here. So good. Mukes is here. Hey, how's it going?
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum assalam.
Yeah.
Peace be with you. What's up?
I had to go to a Zoom meeting yesterday, so that's why I wasn't there.
You're zooming around everywhere. I think the last time you came to class, you were in a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. The Sufis are busy and active.
This was a meeting out of Germany.
Wow, cool. So they're all over the world, huh?
All over the world.
Jagger, you spelled diamond.
I forget how many countries.
Damini, Priyanka, Ida, Teacher Sky, your son is here. Like my little boy? Or the sunshine, Miss Sun. Is son a boy or a girl? Your son. Do you guys?
That's me.
No, I see. I think it's a girl. Yeah, teacher. Let me see. Now, oh boy. I'm on the web app and going to the profiles is taking a little bit of juice here. I'm going to go see you, son. Oh, there you are. Kurdistan. Oh, have I talked to you before? I think I know you. Talk less, smile more. I remember you, son. Oh, I love that. High five. Yes, I'm down with that. What do you think, Shams? Talk less, smile more?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, then I'm just going to sit here and smile and let you guys talk.
Okay, don't forget, if you want to learn Persian and English, we're going to start a class next week on Zoom.
That would be so cool to hear. And can anyone join that? Would they be able to speak too, or do they have to listen to you guys? Will you involve people in the conversation?
Oh, absolutely. We'll get everybody involved.
If you know the language, yeah? Oh, wow. Ali Salah. Hello, everyone. Anis from any country. Is that where you're from? Danny, hi, welcome back. Good to see you. Vida is here. Okay, I just don't want to miss anyone. Simba, Sarah. We love having you here. Your group is awesome too. Yeah.
Boy, it's hard
Ida's
to
a
keep up with
beautiful
all
young
these
girl.
comments. They're coming
Look
so
at
fast.
that. They are Alexander, Bauman. They want the spotlight on them. This is your 5 minutes of fame. Have you heard that before? I'll type it in the comments. 5. How would you describe 5 minutes of fame, Shamsuddin?
Well, you hope that your 5 minutes is a good fame. You can get 5 minutes of bad fame too.
Is that the when you, what do they call it, the depanting? Spiritual depanting?
I don't know.
Getting caught with your pants down.
never-
Have you ever heard that one?
I never heard depanting as a term. Can you define that?
Getting caught with your pants down.
Oh, okay. That's happened to me
Not
in my
a good
dreams.
idea. It's embarrassing. Vida, you're learning right now by practicing. Now, Vida, what I would like for you to do is practice the words. Sometimes I will mention some words and say words, and you should practice too. Also, Vida, watch movies and use songs, lyrics to learn your English, right? Does anyone else have any other tips for Vida about helping to learn English? What helps you? Muhammad
Subscribe to Teacher
says
Sky.
reading. Does that help you with your English,
Me?
Shamsuddin?
Yeah,
It sure helps me when you
You
subscribe.
speak much more clearly than I do.
You know grammar better than I do. So I guess we make a good team.
There you go.
I'll say it. You tell me what to say.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed about how much grammar I know because I thought I forgot all that stuff, but it comes back when
You're an
somebody.
elephant. Yeah. Have you guys heard elephants have very good memories? They can remember a long time.
Yes.
Speaking English with correct pronunciation sounds good. And, you know, that's my rule of grammar, guys, because, yeah, I'm a PhD and a scholar and I do all this writing and I'm a pretty good communicator. But if it doesn't sound right, there must be something wrong, right? Because you know when it sounds good. Okay. So when you write something or read it or say it, you know, listen to it and see if it sounds right. Simba Sarah says flow is really important in my opinion. I agree. What do you think about the flow, Shamsuddin? I bet you could wax poetic about that one. The flow.
The flow is speaking with confidence, I guess, and you know, speaking clearly, and your sentences make sense, and one sentence flows into the next. Pretty soon you have a paragraph, and then pretty soon you have a speech.
Yeah, it builds up. It builds one sentence on another.
Hey, followers. One of the most common questions that my students ask me is,
oh my goodness. So I have this great video. Have you guys seen the video with Devin about shadowing? This might help you. If you haven't, it helped me a lot because I do this in my classes when I teach the littles and the bigs, the adults. We say the words like, oh, let's see, I've got one here. Soccer, soccer. You say
Soccer.
good. Soccer.
Soccer. Where's all your balloon people today?
I haven't seen balloons in ages. The party's over. I don't know. So you guys, here's Devin's video. This is so excellent. Yeah, soccer. It does sound like SOKKER. So Devin did this great video about shadowing, and it has a lot of really good stuff. Intonations in Basara, and you're talking about you know, the flow and all of that. So he touches on this. You guys want to watch the video?
Sure.
And maybe some other folks will get here. Okay. How shadowing can make you fluent is what it's called. Thank you, Devin. Awesome.
how can I sound more like a native speaker? While there are so many different ways to answer that question, today we are going to talk about one thing that you can do to exponentially increase your speaking ability and confidence. Let's get started. So this technique is easy to learn, a little bit harder to master, but super, super useful for your speaking abilities. This technique will help you with your overall fluency, your pronunciation, and your confidence. And it's something that will train your brain and your lips to work together for your English speaking abilities. So this technique is called shadowing. And if you've never heard of it before, awesome. We're going to introduce it to you today. If you have heard of shadowing before, awesome. Today we're going to go in a few specific details, a few things that will help you feel more comfortable with shadowing, and it's going to be really, really great. So what is shadowing? Shadowing is listening to a native speaker talk and repeating exactly what they say, exactly the way that they say it. Sounds simple, right? Well, to kind of dive in and talk about this more in depth, we have to go back in time to about 4 years ago when I moved to Tokyo, Japan, and had to become fluent in Japanese very quickly. It was a crazy, crazy time, but it was incredible and I loved it. Through that experience, I learned a lot about language learning and about techniques that helped me become a more fluent Japanese speaker. So I was in a position where I had to talk to native Japanese speakers every single day and engage in really complicated discussions. I was terrified. I knew hardly any Japanese, and here I was expected to talk in a complicated manner to native speakers. Have you ever felt anything like that before when you talk to a native English speaker and it's terrifying? Well, I know exactly how you feel. I knew that even if I studied grammar and vocabulary for hours every single day, I would still sound like a child to the native speakers that I would talk to. It was really, really scary. Day after day, I would study really hard and see little to no results. Though I began to understand what was being said to me, I felt awkward and I still wasn't able to express what was actually in my mind. I could understand, I could start to speak a little bit, but I didn't sound fluent. I didn't sound like a native speaker. And that is when I realized that there had to be a better way than just reading out of books. There had to be a better way to become more fluent, to actually feel like my mind and my lips were working together. And that is when I discovered shadowing. To put it simply, shadowing is, once again, listening to a native speaker talk and repeating exactly what they say, exactly how they say it, matching their intonation, pronunciation, and the way that they say it. And one of the most important things is that it has to be in real time. As you listen, speak. As you hear it, output with your mouth. Sounds easy, right? It can actually be very challenging at first, especially if the native speaker that you are listening to and that you are shadowing with talks really fast, like I do sometimes. Sorry about that. But that's okay. Don't be afraid. With a little bit of practice, you're going to be able to shadow like an absolute master. So you might be asking, how does this help me again? How does shadowing actually help? This isn't a real conversation. Am I actually going to gain speaking skills? The answer is yes. And this helps you in a lot of different ways. As I mentioned previously, overall fluency, your ability to actually sound out words, form sentences, flow like water, that comes from shadowing. Number one is speed. Shadowing helps you with speed. Have you ever been in a conversation where the person you're talking to, the native speaker, talks very quickly, and when you respond, all of your answers are kind of slow and they're difficult in coming out? That happens to me all the time in Japanese. It's improved a lot since I've discovered shadowing, though. Shadowing allows your mouth to get used to talking fast. It sounds simple, but it's very true. As you shadow a native speaker, your speaking skills will get faster the more you practice. Of course, when you're in an actual conversation and you're speaking the words from your mind out of your mouth, there's going to be a little bit of time between the thinking and the saying, but that's normal in even your native language. Shadowing will help you feel a lot more confident in those situations. Second is fluency or overall fluidity. This is something I mentioned earlier. The word fluidity describes how water flows, or a liquid, how it moves. And that's just like language. When our language flows like water, we sound more native. We sound more like a native speaker. That is the goal that we always want to work towards, is fluency or fluidity in speaking. When you shadow, you become fluid, just like a native speaker. You learn the way that they say things. You hear their patterns, and you can follow them exactly. A third I also mentioned previously, but it is pronunciation and intonation. These are two of the most important parts of language learning, and they are things that you can't just learn out of a textbook. You can learn maybe how something is pronounced, but Can you actually say it right? Can you say it right in a conversation? What about intonation? Even how I just said that word, intonation. I kind of rose and I kind of fell a little bit. That's something that is very natural for native speakers, but not natural if you're learning a language. When I was learning Japanese, I had to learn the correct intonation for certain words. Otherwise, I would get them confused and native speakers would not understand me. This is something that is super important even in English. So as you shadow a native speaker, you will learn how they pronounce words and how their intonation goes up and down. That's going to help you tremendously as you become more like a native speaker. So as you're shadowing, did you pronounce something differently? Go back and try it again. Listen, practice. Practice until you sound just like the native speaker. Then in conversations, you're going to sound so much more confident. Finally, number 4 is that confidence. Shadowing will help you feel so much more confident because your lips and your brain already know what you are supposed to sound like. You practice sounding like a native speaker when you shadow. So then when you get in a real conversation, you sound more like a native speaker. It takes a lot of time and practice, but if you do a little bit every day, you are going to be so much more confident than you were at the beginning. I can promise you that. So listen, I know what it feels like being overwhelmed learning a language. でも今、ペレペレというわけではないですけれども、一生懸命頑張ることによって、そしてシャドーイングによって、本当に何の言語でも学ぶことができるということをしています。You've got this. So thank you so much for watching this video on shadowing. I hope that it helped you. Download the Holo app today if you haven't, and practice shadowing with the teachers who give lessons there. There are teachers giving lessons 24/7, and you can listen to them, shadow, practice, follow along. Holo is your best friend. So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our Holo YouTube channel. We're going to be doing more lessons and content like this. So if you liked it, let us know. And be sure to ring the notification bell so that you can get notified anytime we post a new video. So thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you on the Holo app.
See you on the Holo app. Oh, wow. What did that do? Okay.
That's a good presentation.
Yeah, that was. I learned a lot, and I've been teaching almost 2 years now. English is a second language, but a lot of those principles that he covered are just awesome. Really good information. And Halo's always trying really hard to stretch it and push it just a little bit further, pushing the envelope. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, and that's what I plan to do. And that's how I'm going to learn Persian.
Really?
By shadowing because it's such a wonderful, poetic, flowing language. So we're going to go back and forth. Persian, English, Persian, English.
Wow, that'll be good. That'll be good practice for everyone to hear that. Oh, son, you have to go. Don't leave us, son. The sun is setting.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, the Japanese at the end. Was that cool? Did you guys understand what he said? Anyone here from Japan? Or do you know Japanese? Yeah.
You could almost understand what he said by the context of what he said.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about shadowing and how helpful it is.
Well, and then they had the subtitles. Good, Rossi.
Oh, I didn't
Good
see
catch,
that.
Rossi. Sharif, hello, everyone. The spotlight's on you. Shamsuddin, you're the only subscriber up here, so I think we need some poetry or something.
Where is anybody? I have poetry always, but I have to bring it up on my cell phone.
Oh, Alex, you have a question? Yeah. What is your question? Did I miss it? Alexander, go ahead. Rahat Ali is here. You want to come up and play some music? Me and Shams is at home and he has his instruments. Rahat Ali, we were just jamming and he had 2 really good session players with him, musicians, guitar and everything. And we did a few songs. It was, Rahat, I missed that class. I was sitting right there and I missed one of my classes jamming with you guys.
That wasn't yesterday, huh?
That was just a little while ago. I was sitting here waiting, doing my hair, getting all ready for my littles, and I was ready.
I wondered why you were so last minute.
I'm lucky I did it. Ferris, is that you? Believe he is not a native speaker. Is that the same Ferris, our poet? Yeah, are you back? Are you a different Ferris? Where are you from? Yeah, he sounded native, didn't he? He was in Japan for a while. And when you go to the country and you're with the people, you really do begin to think in that language, and it becomes more fluent when you are there all the time. Okay, here we go. Alexander asked the difference between shadow and shade. Okay, here's your big challenge, everyone. Let's see what you know about English. Do you know the difference between shadow and shade? Can you say them even? Let's say it together. Shadow.
Shadow.
Thank you. And shade.
Shade.
I might be able to. I think I have a flashcard that covers that. What do you guys think? In the comments, shadow and shade. What's the difference? This would be a great shade tree, wouldn't it? Shade tree. Have you ever heard that one? Shade. We're in the shade. The shade? Well, they're both nouns, aren't they? Is anybody answering yet? Okay, shadow. Ferris says the reflection of one's body by light. Oh, that's a good definition. You're really good with words, Ferris. That's got to be you. And Simbasera. Oh, he's talking about shadowing practice, which is writing a speech while listening to a native speaker. Not writing. No, Simbasera, it's not writing. Shadowing is you do what they do. You shadow them. I have this little dog that follows me around, and I go, "Are you my shadow?" Because when the sun or the light hits and the body, like Ferris was saying, the body causes a shadow, and it looks like the body, but it's a shadow, right? And that's why they call it shadowing. It's like a copy of you, but it's not really you, right? You're standing here and the shadow is on the ground, probably, or the wall, right? So shadowing is just copying. Shade without light. Yeah. And shade, if it's a shady tree, you're in the shade, it's cooler because the sun is shining and you go under the tree in the shade. Right. Protect us from the sun, Farron's good example. Hi, Abhi. Marwa, welcome. Oh, that is you, huh, Paris? Tell me, come up and do some poetry. Shams is the A1 poet. Do you know Shams? Naturalist here. Shade is outermost layer of shadow. That's a stretch, natural, but very good try. I don't know. Do you think that, Sean, shade is the outermost layer of a shadow?
Well, that's sort of an awkward way to describe it, but I understand what he's trying to say is that
shade, if different shades,
like
maybe
like
colors.
You're in the shadow of a tree when you're in the shade. So and be in the shade.
Oh, okay. Thank you. It does help to have other people explain. Doesn't that make a huge difference? I was seeing it just one way. That helps me to see it the other way. Wow. Shade provides shadow. Shade. No. I think shade is a shadow.
Sybil got infected by COVID.
Who said? Who said?
Sybil.
Oh, did you? Oh my God, I just infected by COVID. It says that you'll be fine. 16 years old. Oh, you'll be really fine. I have many family members who have had it. The young ones who are very healthy and strong, you will come back. Don't worry. You will be fine. I have to file a selection for study abroad in UK. Well, good. The app is helping you. Good, because you have to learn at home. That's good. Just heal, get better, and don't worry. That makes it hard to heal.
That's true.
Shakarov says, I had somewhat rest in the shade of a thick tree. I had somewhat. I don't like that word somewhat. Okay, I'm
you could just say
I had change this.
I had some rest in the shadow of a tree.
Yeah, or I had a gentle rest in the shade of a thick
shade of a tree.
And thick, we don't really call when the leaves are thick, do we call them thick? We call it full. The shade is full of shade. Thick, I think, is more like hair, like an animal's fur is thick. So it's more like hair. I don't know if I would call shade of a tree thick. Would you, Shams, if we were at a picnic and you said, oh, the shade of this tree is, would you say
Only in a
thick?
poem. You could say it in a poem.
You could in a poem, because in poems you can use words in a lot of different ways. And that's one thing I have a really hard time with is editing. When some of you all write poetry or a beautiful prose, something beautiful that you wrote and you're trying to get, express yourself. And here I am editing it, right? And I'm like, oh, this word is wrong. But this word could be right for you. It depends on what you are trying to say. So words can be used in a lot of different ways. Boy, are we getting lost in these comments. You guys are doing great.
That's a good one, Rossi.
I moved my chair. What does it say? Oh.
Yeah, I moved my chair into the shade.
And started reading. Yeah. Into the shade of a lush tree. We could say lush. There's a lot of leaves on that tree. It's so beautiful. A shade is a darkness of an object not in direct light, while shadows are the silhouette of an object's shape on another surface. Oh, that's a good one, Jaron Hansen or Jaron Hassan. And Jaron Hassan is like this really young boy. You are good with your English. That is so good. I think that was a very good way to describe it.
It is.
Yes, a silhouette. Where did you get that word? That's $1 million word.
It's even spelled correctly.
He spelled it right. Wow.
I can't spell it until the spell corrector does it for me.
Okay, so yes, the same guy says shadow, a dark image projected onto a surface where light or other radiation is blocked by the shade of an object. My shadow lengthened as the sun began to set. Wow, that was said like poetry. Good job. Yes, the same guy. Are all of you Hallow students that intelligent and smart and good at your English? You don't need us anymore. You're so good at this.
Time for retirement.
And that's what I love. That's the new way to learn. And that's why I call this a PLC. Did you guys see that on the thumbnail? Do you know PLC? Does anybody know what that means? So we learn together. You learn in groups, and particularly online. It's very big asynchronously, where, sometimes someone is talking and then maybe a couple of hours later they send you a message back. So these are people from all over looking at things differently. And they come together and figure stuff out. It's called professional learning community. Silhouette. Very good, Bears. That is a nice word in a novel, right?
And we native English speakers need to remember that, for example, if someone is a native Arabic speaker, that they may say things in such a different way that when they say an English sentence, it sounds strange to us. But from their own language, it was kind of proper in a way.
Yeah.
And that's why it's good to speak with native people, because then you learn to say it the way the natives say it.
I have noticed that with some of the live streams. One of my pet peeves is this word. Oh, and somebody was saying it the other day. They said, I wanted to get, so I wish, and then if you put ED on the end, I wish,
Right.
Wished, it's one syllable, right? Wished. If you put an ED on it, you don't say wish ed. Okay. Do you ever do that? What about this one? I think it's sent. Or wait, was it sent? What are some other words with ED on the end? Scented.
I learned, not I learned.
Learned. Oh, that's a good one. Learned. Not learned. Learned is something else. It means you're very smart. But I learned, one syllable. Blocked. Thank you. Not blocked. Oh, thank you, Ben. Grabbed. Not grabbed. Okay. Really important. I hear this so much. Middle East does it. I was hearing someone else say it, just different people with different dialects. I think your language might use that, and it might be something that's correct in your language. Talk, right? Talked, not talk Ed, okay? You know a guy named Edward? My uncle was Ed, Uncle Eddie. Yeah, you don't say talk Ed. No, talked. Good.
Yeah, that's funny.
Good. Hey, I've got a video that kind of gives you an idea about this seeing things different from different angles. You want to see it real quick?
Absolutely.
I just love this video. Let me see if I can make this happen. Oh, good. It's a wonderful video. You're going to love it.
You want me to fill in with a poem here? Oh.
Yeah, right after this. Okay. Boy, my internet is slow. At 5 gigs is having to work. I am live on Facebook and Twitch and YouTube. And I was glad I did that the other day. My live stream didn't record the whole thing, so I had a backup.
Well over 100 years ago, an American poet put to rhyme an ancient parable. The first verse of the poem speaks about 6 men of Industan, to learning much inclined, who went to see the elephant, though all of them were blind, that each by observation might satisfy his mind. In the poem, each of the 6 travelers takes hold of a different part of the elephant and then describes to the others what he has discovered. One of the men finds the elephant's leg and describes it as being round and rough like a tree. Another feels the tusk and describes the elephant as a spear. A third grabs the tail and insists that an elephant is like a rope. A fourth discovers the trunk and insists that the elephant is like a large snake. Each is describing truth. And because his truth comes from personal experience, each insists that he knows what he knows. The poem concludes, and so these men of Industan disputed loud and long, each in his own opinion, exceeding stiff and strong, though each was partly in the right, and all were in the wrong. That someone could make a judgment based on one aspect of truth and apply it to the whole seems absurd or even unbelievable. On the other hand, have we ever been guilty of the same pattern of thought? We have so many examples of things that mankind once knew were true, but have since proven false. For example, in spite of a one-time overwhelming consensus, the Earth isn't flat. The stars don't revolve around the Earth. And of course, man actually can fly, even break the sound barrier. Often truth is rejected because it doesn't appear to be consistent with previous experiences. The thing about truth is that it exists beyond belief. It is true even if nobody believes it. We simply don't know all things. We can't see everything. Because we see through a glass darkly, we have to trust the Lord who sees.
Okay, so we don't want to get religious, but at the same time, that is a very popular story, isn't it? Bien, did you hear that story before? The 6 blind men and the elephant? It's pretty cool.
So I'm glad you pinned Shakarov's comment.
Good question. But you need a question mark on the end. Oops.
Oh,
So you want to try it?
Me?
Yeah.
Anxiety.
Anxiety. It's almost with a G. It sounds like a G. Anxiety.
Yeah, and it sounds like a Z.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
Anxious.
Anxious. That's an SH sound. Anxious.
Anxious. Ank. It's kind of like A and K. Shus. SH. I sound it out, and sometimes that helps you to spell, and then sometimes it makes you spell it completely wrong. Anxious. Right. Does that help? Anxious. Anxiety. And then the last one's a really hard one.
Boy, it's
you say the
posthumously.
I think it sounds like a sh, don't you? Posthumously,
yeah,
posthumous. You do kind of get the TH in there. Boy, is that hard.
No, it's more like a CH.
Chew. Ah, yeah, it is more like a CH. Posthumously. Posthumously. Do you know what that means? Do you guys know the meaning of those words? Alexander, I'm fed up with using the words hi and hello. What are the other ways to express them? Okay, yeah, I know. You're fed up means you're really angry about it, though. But you're tired of it? Yeah, it's getting old. You could. What else could he say? Sean?
You could say the Gates.
How about greetings?
Yeah.
Greetings is a very general, and it's worldwide. Well known.
Or you could say namaste, like peace and blessings.
Namaste. Is that a hello? I thought that was more like thank you. Namaste.
No, it's a greeting. Hello.
Oh, okay. Like assalamu alaikum. Is that kind of like a hello?
Yeah, that's a greeting too, which means peace be with you.
What do you guys think? Are there other ways to say hello?
Howdy.
Howdy. Okay, so if you say greetings, they might think you're an alien, because I think they had that in some kind of sci-fi movie. Greetings, but it is very formal. Greetings. Howdy, on the other hand, you know, I'm from Texas, and we're cowboys in Texas, and howdy, y'all. Right, howdy. Howdy, y'all. It's kind of slang, and it's very Southern. Hi guys. Hello. How are you? There's not a lot of other salutations. What do they say in Spanish? Hola.
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 Which means hello.
Hello. Oh, there's a Michael Franti song. I wonder if I can find it. Hola. Hola. Oh, how does it go? You guys know the one? Rahat Ali was here. I should bring you up. Rahat, are you still here? We could sing. Posthumously is after the death of the originator. Thank you. We didn't get into the definitions, did we? We're terrible. Did you know all of that? Macon, hola. So yeah, anxiety. Anxious. I'm looking forward to it. Anxious. Anticipation. You know that one?
Anticipation.
I wonder if I can find the Michael Franti song. I'll try to do it. You want to read some poetry while I search?
Yeah, I have a short poem here. If I can pop it back on my screen. Oops, there we go. It's called No Great Matter. No Great Matter. Like this is no great matter, you know?
Right.
And my phone's talking to me.
Hello.
Whatever my concern, it is no great matter. The fountain of life flows from the depths of every hallowed heart, the kind and selfish alike. Can we know the fullness of the Divine One? This is only a matter worthy of you, beloved. I am graced to have known you in the flesh, as were you graced to have known me. So many moments in laughter shared. These moments, no great matter in the flow of things, but life to us in those moments shared, it was no great matter, it never is. Forever shall you live on the altar of my heart. Sham says, it only matters for a moment, but for that moment, it really matters.
Wow.
I guess I wrote that for a friend who passed on, who won't get to read it posthumously.
No. But you're reading it for him. It's a posthumous, isn't oh, that's such a hard word. Posthumously is to honor them and to read it in their absence, to let it go on. So,
Yeah.
that's so good. So you want to see the video? This is kind of a funny version of it, but the words are what I want you to hear. You want to see it?
Yeah, Shamsuddin's pronunciation is a native pronunciation. I was born here in the USA, and Shamsuddin is just my Sufi name
There
given
you
by
go.
my teacher. Okay, video, roll
Here
it.
it is. Okay, I have to take it off mute too. Come on. The technology's not working for me. Oh boy, is it really stuck. I'm going to have to stop it to get the audio. Oh man, it's jumping all over the place. What was that? Wow, I've never seen that happen. Oh, it looks like such a good video too. Okay, let's see if we can get it. Wait a minute. I'm going to back this up. You got to see it. The words of this song are amazing. You guys are going to love it if I can get it on here. Here we go. Ready? You're going to want to dance. I want to hear you at home. Sing it. I don't need a passport to walk on this earth. Oh, come on. This was just getting good. I apologize. I'm going to close some tabs.
I'm Nick Nimmin, and I'm a StreamYard user. If you're considering live streaming and you're considering using StreamYard,
I guess I need to skip the ads. Okay, guys, my apologies. It'll work in a minute. I'll keep hitting the button. I don't need a passport to walk on this earth. Anywhere I go, cause I was made of this earth. I'm born of this earth. I breathe of this earth. And even with the pain, I believe in this earth. So I wake up every morning and I'm stepping on the floor. I wake up every morning and I'm stepping out the door. I got faith in the sky, faith in the one, faith in the people rocking underneath the sun. Cause every bit of land is a holy land, and every drop of water is a holy water, and every single child is a son or a daughter of the one earth mama and the one earth papa. So don't tell a man that he can't come here cause he got brown eyes and a wavy kind of hair, and don't tell a woman that she can't go there because she prays a little different to a God up there. You say you're a Christian cause God made you. You say you're a Muslim cause God made you. You say you're a Hindu and the next man a Jew. Then we all kill each other cause God told us to. No, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour. Hola, hola. Hola, hola. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour. Hola, hola. Hola, hola. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. Follow me, let me take you to the dance on. You come and rock this week. Follow me, let me take you to the dance on. You come and skank it. Follow me, take you to the dance on. You come and rock this week. Follow me, let me take you to the dance on. In up your hairstyle and again. So you dance to the rhythm, bounce to the rhythm, shake to the rhythm, and you roll to the rhythm, sweat to the rhythm, get wet to the rhythm, make love to the rhythm, clean up to the rhythm. When you move in, you come alive, and when you groove in rhythm we survive. So don't panic, no drum machines, this is all organic. Just Sly and Robbie on the drums and the bass, Sticky on percussion, and we mashing up the place. Giving you a beat you can rock and roll to, giving you a sound you can shake your soul to. So hip hoppers, rockers, even woodstockers don't need a passport, just send a postcard. Send me a message, let me know how you are. Whether you are walking or driving in your car, throw your hands high, tell me who you are. Say hello, 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 hello. Bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour. Hola, hola. Hola, hola. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Bonjour, bonjour. Hola, hola. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. bonjour, bonjour. Hola, hola. Hola, hola. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour. Hola, hola. Hola, hola. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. I rock it, I shuffle it, I rock it, I rock it, I stack it, I shuffle it, I rock it, I rock it, I rock it, I shuffle it, I stack it, I rock it, I rock it, I shuffle it. So follow me, follow me, follow me. Let me take you to the dance floor now. You come and rock this rhythm. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Let me take you to the dance floor now. You got to hear this now. Salam, shalom. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. Drums and bass. How was that? Pretty fun. Now you know hello in a lot of different languages.
Yeah, I love that. That was, I mean, it was almost rap, right?
Yeah, kind of.
And I don't like rap, but unless it's good like that, then I love it.
I think that Michael Franti, especially nowadays, he's more of a pop singer. You know, at one point he was very hardcore kind of punk rock. And somebody said you look like James Hetfield. Did you see that? Do you know who he is? Metallica?
No.
Metallica? You know that band, right?
Oh. Yeah, but I didn't know I was like that.
You look like James Hetfield. I didn't. I guess I don't even know what James Hetfield looks like, really.
Here,
is that what they said? No, he's like, you're like him because he's a songwriter, and I think you know Metallica does have some really deep songs. Very deep.
But this is a cool hat, don't you think?
I love that hat. Wow, it looks like maybe safari.
Well, I picked it up in a Goodwill in Florida.
Wow, a Floridian hat. I believe it. Oh, that's cool. So you guys, I have really lost track of the comments. Is there anything really pressing that I'm missing? I'm so sorry. Like maybe a subscriber being here. This is their day and they're not here. What? There
were all kinds of discussions going on. We talked about, somebody said they love the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi.
I see that.
Then I said, oh yeah, some scholars think St. Francis met Rumi during the Crusades, which would be very fascinating. I'm writing a novel about that, written from the point of view of, I think it's 4 or 5 animals that followed St. Francis around. It's kind of a fun fantasy book.
Oh, I love that. Like his familiars. You have these animals that are your kind of protectors. Were they real animals in the story, but kind of magic?
Well, they talk to each other. They
talking animals.
The book starts out when this robin wants to eat a worm, and the worm says, wait a minute, have you tried grains? It's much better food. And then this mole.
So he's trying to talk the bird out of being a meat eater and being vegetarian. I get that.
Well, he's trying to talk him out of eating him. And then this mole shows up who's been storing some grains underground, and he brings some grain up to the worm, and the bird eats. Anyway, they become friends.
Yeah.
And then they meet St. Francis, and so I've got quite a few chapters written. I need to go back to writing it.
Oh, you wrote this. It's a great story.
Yeah, I wrote it.
Hi, Mito. Welcome. That is such a good story. I like it. I really want you to write that. I will ask you about that.
Yeah, we could.
Simba Sarah, what is she talking about? Resistance by Abdullah Qureshi is a slower one. Let's see if people can get that here. Okay, we're not in this conversation, Simba Sarah. I just love it when the streams take over the live stream. The audience. You guys are awesome. So will you let us in on this? Who all is talking to Simba Sarah about Abdullah Qureshi? Is that how I say it? Am I saying it wrong?
That sounds pretty good. Abdullah
Close.
Qureshi.
And
That's how I think.
initiate? Oh, here she says, resistance by Abdullah Qureshi is something we can understand. How can you understand? And how does that fit in, Simba Sarah? Because Alexander says, listening to English stories is a good way to learn and speak English with correct pronunciation. It really is. It's a fun way. Now, you all that are just learning, you're new at this, be easy on yourself. And those of you who are more advanced, I don't ever want to hear you say, I don't speak English very well. I do not want to ever hear that again from any of my students or anyone else's students, because you are doing the best you can and you're speaking. And I think instead of saying I'm not very good at my English, maybe we should say I'm getting better at my English. Every day I'm a little better at my English. Okay. And for those of you who are just learning, just practice every day and you will get better. It does take practice. Practice every day. Okay. That's your homework assignment. Okay, somebody else says, oh, here's some interesting comment. Wow, and a long one. Let me see if I don't think I can pin it though. Mito says, okay, are you ready, Shams? He's trying to stump us, giving us all these hard questions. You have 2 native speakers here, guys, so you have double what you would like to learn English from. Okay, so he says, what is the bee story? The story follows Barry B. Benson, a honeybee who sues the human race for exploiting bees. After learning from his florist friend, Vanessa Bloom, that humans sell and consume honey. Bee Movie is the first motion picture script written by Seinfeld, who wrote the film Spike Fairstein and Barry Marder and Andy Robin. Oh, I think I have heard a little bit about this movie. Wow. Sues the human race for exploiting bees. Wow.
I got to watch that movie. I think maybe I've seen it. It's what do you call it when they animated film? It's an animated.
Oh, that sounds great. I love animation. Kind of like cartoons, but a serious movie moving around, Sean's has a good question here. And Sean's, is that how I say it? I probably say your name wrong, so don't feel bad. I only correct you because I care. So the first word has to be capitalized, right, ma'am? And how do you spell ma'am, guys? Do you guys know? I want to see it in the comments. Ma'am is a contraction for madame. You take the D out and you put an apostrophe in there. It's M-A apostrophe A-M. You see it? Thank you. That's the correct spelling. So how can I get a native accent? Please give me your suggestions. That might be 2 sentences, period, native accent. Please capitalize. Give me your suggestions, period. We want to see your punctuation, guys. It's not just chatting when you're on Hallow. You have to be very formal. Well, if you're around Teacher Sky, I will correct you. If you're on social media and you say something incorrect, but as far as grammar goes or punctuation, I will tell you. It's only because I care. So suggestions for Sean's, everyone. Please, we are a professional learning community. We help each other to learn. And I know you all are in the trenches. You're really learning this stuff. Can you help with Sean's with some ideas for them to maybe have? How would you get a native accent?
Shadowing.
Tell him to use Cambly app. I have experience. Cambly is the magic wand. Ferris says, just learned. I just learned. I learned. Learned is a correct word, but I don't know if it's correct while you're saying it. Just learned new word. Grim. Oh, grim definition. Oh, okay. You just learned. Ferris is on a whole different trip here, guys. He just learned is more European. We don't use that much in the United States. We say learned, and we don't say learned. Okay. A new word. It's called grim. Looking or sounding serious. Grim. Unpleasant and depressing. Grim. Don't be grim. Don't be grim. Bears, lighten up. You know that song? Lighten up yourself. Don't be a dread. I have advice for Sean's. Tell him to use. Okay, we already did that one. Come on, there's got to be a good listener. That's good, Nida. That's a little more, yeah, rational. I have just learned. Yeah, that is correct. But in the United States, we don't use learned at all. I never hear that word used here, but it is proper and it is correct. I think it's more British. We say learned. I just learned something. Mido loves us, guys. Who guys? Who are you loving? You made my English fascinating. So I will give them suggestions if you guys won't. Come on. Practice makes a man perfect. Jaron, you're so cute. Practice makes a man perfect. And you get better and better every day, and you're striving for perfection. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I think.
What was the grim news that Ferris?
It wasn't grim news. It was the word grim. He just learned that new term, and he shared it with us. Grim. Could you bring us some lighter terms? I love that. No, but let's help Sean's. How can he speak without accent? She. Sean's, are you a girl? I'm sorry. So my
or is it
recommendation.
Shanzay?
Oh, it could be Shanzay. It's hard to differentiate sometimes. Learned and learned. Yes, it is. Mito with the bees. Oh, that's great. Okay, so we have to help Shanti, you guys. I was just Shanti. Find study mates. Oh, that's good. Ferris, you do have British background, don't you? Mates. Well, classmates is a word we would use in America, but mates is more of a British term for your friend. My friends are mates. Now, in a professional sense, we call them cohorts. Have you ever heard that one? And we use this at our university, and I thought it was very odd because sometimes they have, like your cohort in crime is where I've heard that word. But no, they use it in education for people that you're working with. And in this professional learning community, everyone here are cohorts. We work together, we collaborate. It's really the new way to learn. You don't learn anymore from me. You learn from each other. I'm learning with you. This is a learning experience, and we're all immersed in it. So Shanzi, I think I will give you my answer for that, okay? Because my background is radio and television, and my background is Texas. I'm a Texan, and we talk very Texas. If I want to put on my slang and my accent, my regional accent, I can sound very Southern. But with my voice and diction class, as a radio announcer, I learned about something that you can do to help your language. And the way you do it, are you ready? Is you move your mouth very clearly so you can articulate. And you can even do facial expressions if you're angry or if you're happy. And that really helps you with your dialect. It helps you with that accent, okay? So what you want with native accent is you don't want to have an accent. You want to just speak very clearly and formally. So that's my suggestion. You just speak very clearly. And if you want practice, watch movies with the subtitles, the words going across, and read, or songs with the lyrics and sing and learn the song and be able to say it by yourself. Or read, like they were saying earlier, you could read books, maybe children's books and fun stories that are easy and simple. Or it could just be something you like. If you like airplanes, read about airplanes, but read aloud. Say the words and have the intonation where you're going up and down. Now, you don't want to sound sing-songy when you talk. You don't want to talk like this and up and down and up and down. You only use those intonations when you're trying to express something and to stress a subject, okay? Okay, so we have lots more questions. That's my answer for you, Shanzi. Difference between upon and on. I know they do have the same meaning, but is there any difference between both the words? Of course there is. What do you think, Shams? I'll give you this one. Upon and on.
Yes, they do mean the same thing. Many times they can be used interchangeably, but upon upon has more of the, if I can use a big word, connotation of like setting upon or
Up
that,
on makes me think that
yeah.
it's up here somewhere. If it's upon,
I'm
up.
trying to think
But
of
that's
sentences.
on is up, kind of. But on, you could be on the bus, so you won't be upon the bus. You'd be on the bus. You'd be in the bus. Let's get in the bus, or he's on the bus.
Yeah,
Hop
I could
on,
say
hop
I
upon.
set the plate on the table, but I could also say I set the plate upon the table. It would just be a little more
I
formal
think
or
so.
a
Formal.
little stiffer, a little more awkward to say upon when on does the job, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder what I can speak fluently. Please help me.
Once upon a time. They wouldn't say,
Yeah,
once on a time.
right. That's a really separate use. Yeah, upon that way is a totally. I mean, it's a
Anton.
different. It's a different use.
Yes.
Excuse me, I have to cough.
I'm saying hi to everybody, so I'm kind of stepping on your words. Okay, BN has a good one here. This is a good question. You guys, we don't need a curriculum. We have you. You are our curriculum. See, professional learning community. They know how to learn. So do shadowing is also mimicking. Now, wait a minute. That sentence is way wrong, BN. Are shadowing. Do shadowing is also. How do you fix that sentence, BN? You made a mess of that sentence. Do shadowing is also mimicking. Is shadowing also mimicking is the correct way to say that. Okay. I'm going to write that for you. Is, and you were so good to put the quotations around shadowing, like, we're paying attention, emphasizing that word. I'm not doing the quotations. It's too hard. Is shadowing also mimicking?
The comma's in the right place too. That's a
And
good
I
use of the
forgot the
comma.
comma. I should have had a comma. Well, maybe not. Is shadowing also mimicking? No, that doesn't need a comma. What do you guys think? Oh, good fairs. Oh, does shadowing also mean? Oh, did you mean does be in? Oh, that's a better form of the word do, and be is does. Does do. It's really hard to get the tenses right. So the question isn't about does and do. The question is about shadowing and mimicking. And the grammar is a whole separate subject we could spend hours on. What do you guys think? Do you know what that definition? We know shadowing now, but do you know what mimicking is, anyone? When I cut and paste, am I mimicking someone else's written work? Cut and paste. Do you know that one? Or copy is a hint. Copy. Mimicking. And I think mimicking might mean in a funny way.
Could be, but basically they mean the same thing.
Nida
If
says
you're not,
the imitating of a person. Imitation. So mimicking, yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I think mimicking is making fun of them. When I mimic someone, I'm kind of, and impressions sometimes, if you can do an impression of, um, Winston Churchill, you're mimicking. But I think mimicking is more making fun of, in a jesting, a funny way. Drama, when we use present perfect tense, I think this is a hard tense. It's just now. Present is perfect. When they say something in grammar and they define it, the words tell what it is. So present is right now, and perfect is perfectly right now. It's not past, it's not future, it is right now. It's perfect. It's perfectly in the present. Are you all in the present? Are you perfectly in the present right now? I hope so. Be here now. Mimic is to do some actions or behavior, maybe. Yeah, it's to copy someone. Mimic is to copy.
So this is just trivia, but I just bought the book Be Here Now because my original copy got lost or destroyed.
Yeah. Do you
I'll show
have
you
it?
a picture.
I want to see it. So this is a new version. Does it look any different? I think
No,
the
no,
ones
they-
I've seen are
they,
like really old.
They just let's see.
Oh yeah. That's it, guys. If you haven't read this book, you must. This is a must read in your lifetime to be more zen and centered and understand and not so anxious and have all that anxiety that you were mentioning earlier. Be here now. It's to focus on the moment. It's the only thing that you can really do anything about right now other than make plans about the future.
A little more trivia about that is our Sufi teacher, Asha Greer, was involved in the actual production of the original book.
Wow.
Where they had people each take a page, and that's why the printing looks so different, because different people did it.
How cool. It was a collaborative effort. And what year was that book produced?
Oh gosh.
50s or 60s or something? Probably 60s.
It was 60s, and it was after I graduated from high school, which is 1965. Probably around 1968, 69, when all the exciting things were happening about the Vietnam War.
Yeah, United States, a lot was going on. The 60s were crazy.
And Richard Alport, the Harvard professor, went to India and became Baba Ram Das. So it's really his book.
Right. It
vision.
is very deep. Very deep. All the history. That's so cool. So Ferris has the definition for mimic. Alexander says it's okay. He Googled it. Don't be mad. To copy the way somebody speaks, moves, behaves, etc., especially in order to make other people laugh. That's what I thought. There's some fast, funny stuff in there. Somebody, something, she's always mimicking the teachers. He mimicked her Southern accent. It's not fair, Ferris. She mimicked something specialist or formal. To look or behave like something else. Synonym. Imitate. The robot was programmed to mimic a series of human movements. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, Ferris. Wow. So are you back? That's great. Mohammed, post perfect does like past simple as meaning. And oh, Mohammed, I had finished. Mohammed, does is D-O-E-S, though. You spell dose. Past perfect is does, like past simple as meaning. Oh boy. I really lost you on that one, Mohammed. I had finished. I finished. Okay. There's an example for you. That past perfect. I had finished. I finished. I finished right now. It's perfect. I'm right now, but I'm talking about the past. Right. But I'm right now. It's right now that it's happening. Right. Oh, that was from Oxford, not Google, guys. Bears, you're so good at your references and giving proper credit. I'm a scholar, and we have to put citations, footnotes, and we have to have references at the end. And really, most of my research paper, my proposal for my doctoral dissertation, I don't say anything, pretty much. I paraphrase. Do you know that word? Oh, here's a good one. Let's talk about paraphrase and plagiarism. Paraphrase. Do you know that word? Paraphrase. And this one's really hard to spell. Plagiarism. Plagiarism. I always remember how to spell it because it's kind of like a flag, plague, P-L-A-G, and then G-I-A-R reminds me of liar. Plagiarism. Bad. Don't do it. It's like lying. Yeah, it's really bad. And it's mainly in writing, right? Does anybody, I hate to jump ahead of you guys. You're too slow in giving the answers, and I'm going to give this answer. Okay, so plagiarism is taking someone's words and using it in your paper. If I were to plagiarize, I would not be a very good researcher or scientist. So what I have to do is take all of these scientists have proven their theories, right? And I have to take their theories. I am not proving anything. I'm improving on what is already known. Okay. And so I take their words and then I put it in my own words and I say it. And that's called paraphrase. Okay. So if you don't want to cheat and use someone else's words, it's important. It's vitally important to paraphrase. I wish I'd have learned it a lot earlier in my career, because cut and paste is too easy, right? You can grab someone's, their literary work, like Shamsuddin's wonderful poetry, and put it on Facebook and everybody thinks you wrote it, right? That's not good. We need to give credit to the artist and to the writer and to the scientist, and whoever first said that needs their recognition. Ferris says, I have to reference work that is not mine. Otherwise, I will be accused of plagiarism. Correct. Alexander, where you copy someone's exact words and put them in, no, when you put them in quotation marks, that is you're quoting them. You're citing them. C-I-T-E, cite. And cite is a word at the bottom. We would have the citations, and that's like your footnotes. So no, if you put it in parentheses, that means, and in fact, you'll see if you look at my YouTube channel right now, this live stream is streaming on YouTube as well, and Facebook, and you can look at these and Twitch, and you'll see that I have a quote in there. Let me see if I can find it. It's a quote by Joon. Do you guys know Joon Beh? Oh, I wonder if I can see it. I would like to read the quote because it's really good, and I didn't want to plagiarize him. So on the end of, this is our feed on Facebook, guys. Talk about feedback. It says, finding opportunities in life through language learning. And I've got that in quotations, Joon Beh. And this is how I wrote it. If ever you want to quote someone, okay? You're awfully quiet, Shamsuddin.
Oh well, I was reading Ferris' comment.
Oh, you should be reading them out loud. You guys just are so funny. I'm in the middle of this, but I would love to hear it. So I would put a little dash, and I don't know if that's required, but when I do a quote, I quote someone like this. Okay. That's, to cite them.
Right.
So what did Ferris say?
Sometimes I put a quote like that at the beginning of a poem I'm writing. Like I might quote the Bible.
Yeah.
Or quote the Quran, like that.
Yeah. So Ferris says paraphrasing can be achieved by changing the order of words, grammar, or the style of writing. No, it really needs to be in your words. You can't just change the order around. That doesn't count. That is the maybe scientific way of going about it, but it may not make as much sense. Now, if you're a true writer and a scholar, you want to paraphrase by putting it in your own words. You would read it, and then you think about it for a moment, and then you try to say it. This is really good, Ferris, because this leads us to the method that we are using to learn here at Hallow. Do you guys know what methodology this is? It's a theory of learning. It's how people learn. It's called Socratic method for learning. Do you know Socrates? We brought him up before. A scientist a long time ago. Aristotle was Socrates' teacher. Okay. And Socrates, when he would teach his students, usually you have the sage on the stage and they're telling everybody and people are just memorizing or taking notes. But in the Socratic method of learning, he would go and just talk with his students and they would discuss things. And so if I were to read something, and, I'm looking at the information and I don't want to use those exact words, I would then try to recite it in my own words. The same thing that they said, just saying it a little bit differently. So yeah, you're changing the order, but you're not changing the meaning. Bien has some difficult questions about your hat.
She's just making me laugh because she said,
Your hat is awesome.
and then I don't know what she means.
Yes, Bien. Plagiarism is the same as copyright infringement, and that's serious. You don't want to go there. That's a serious offense. You
can get in big, big trouble.
Ferris says citation is by quoting the excerpt. That's a hard word to say. When you excerpt, you want to get that P in there. Excerpted is really a hard word because you can't say excerpt. Sentences paraphrasing. Citation is by the quotation, I think is what. Oh boy, Ferris, this sentence is a mess. We're going to help you. Roshni, hello.
But that's how you learn, I guess.
That is. So a citation is, when you make a citation is by quoting the excerpt, an excerpt. I wouldn't use excerpted. That is absurd. Hard to say for one thing. But it is correct. It's just impossible to say. A citation is by quoting a sentence that you excerpt. You take it from something, an excerpt. That is a very hard word. Paraphrasing. Oh, yeah, just paraphrasing. And that's the Socratic method for learning, where if I were to teach you about the Socratic method, now I taught you the Socratic method, right? You guys know it? You know who Socrates is. Can you tell me? You tell me. But don't use my words. Don't say exactly what I said. You use your words and tell me, what is Socratic method? Who is Socrates? What is that?
Socrates was an ancient Greek Jew.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't even say Greek. How did you know that? You must have researched. Aristotle. How did you know he was Greek?
Who?
You said it just now, that Socrates was a Greek scholar.
Yeah, because you said put it in my own words, so I took what I knew about him and put it in my own words.
Good. Oh, that's great. So he added on to it, and that's what I'm talking about. We're not making a theory. We're not trying to prove anything. We are taking what somebody else proved, and we are going to improve on it. And that's what Shams did. I said, Socrates is this great teacher, and he knew about Socrates, and so he was a great Greek teacher. So he improved on what I taught you. So that is really how it is done. Excerpt, borrowing sentences from somebody's book. Oh, Fairs, I don't mean to pick on you. Somebody's, that is such a good sentence. That is such a good sentence. But somebody's, are we talking about one body or a whole bunch of somebodies? Because if you're borrowing a sentence from somebody's book, it's one body, right? And so you want to have B-O-D-Y apostrophe S, okay? Because you got the plural of somebody's, all kinds of bodies. And we never use that word somebody's. Somebody. It's always somebody. It's always one somebody. Isn't that interesting? I'm glad you brought that up. Was it a typo? But no, I mean, it could have been accurate the way English works, but in this case, all these little things you have to learn. Yeah, Muhammad, he was an amazing teacher. And Samila, did they ever figure that out? Did you hear back from Hello about your subscription? Because I gave you the scholarship and I never heard back. Oh my goodness. Bien, I agree with you, Sir Alexander. Did you get knighted, Alexander? Are you from England? Do you guys know about Sir? Oh, hey, Ferris agreed with you, Shamsuddin. He says, I believe that he is a Greek philosopher. Perfect.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But
But a what a. But a
what
what
was
a.
I? No, I was on to your latest subject. What was
I
I going to
made you
say?
forget. What was the latest subject? We changed the subject like, wow. No problem, Mohammed. Alexander. Oh, I know what it was. We were going to talk about Sir. Do you guys know about getting knighted? Sir Alexander, do you know? Is anyone here from UK? Rahat Ali was here at the beginning. You know, he's from UK. If you ever want to go there, just go to Rahat's live stream. He hops on the bus and they go all over London. It's so amazing. Not to mention, sometimes he does some musical jams when he's at home. He's got some good guitars and a great singing voice.
Is he an official teacher?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Oh, in fact, he's like the #2 teacher on Hallow. I noticed that he just got a little ahead of Ahmed. Ahmed was #2 forever. You know, Ryan's #1 with all, it's because his live streams are, 10 hours long. He's really dedicated.
And Ahmed teaches his class kind of like what you're doing now, where he just keeps responding to the students' comments and questions.
He doesn't really have a curriculum.
It doesn't seem to, but he's so popular because very rarely does he even bring people on his live streaming. I mean, actually, I haven't watched him for a little while, so maybe he's changed.
Yeah. I haven't, I guess, been to enough of his classes. I will have to check them out. I love it.
Yeah. I actually subscribed to him for 1 month just so I could jump on.
Yeah.
He's good advertising. By the way,
but he didn't let you hop on. He doesn't do hop-ons.
No, he did let me hop on because he called me a teacher, and because he had been to some of my live streams.
I see. So he thought you were a teacher. Alexander. So Alexander, we still want to talk about Sir, but first we'll talk about Son. Why is everybody talking about Son? Do you guys know? Yeah, Mohammed, he has classes for days. I think they have marathons to see who can do the longest class. Maybe we should have a contest like that. Who does the longest live stream on Hello, and see if we could go for like a week or something. That'd be so cool. I'm not doing it. 1 hour gets me, and really, I'm past my 1 hour. I'm going into 2 hours now, but usually 1 hour is my max. It wears me out. It's hard work.
I can totally relate to you because it's a lot of work.
That's the most creative way of spelling hi I've ever seen. H-A-I. Oh, Flourish is here. Flourish, you're in trouble. You're the only one here, so you have to come up with me and Shams, and we're just talking. So we still have to answer 2 questions. Son and Sir. Go. We need to know what these things are. Flourish.
I'm sorry I'm late again.
I know it's late for you, isn't it? So you're busy with your kids, and I understand you have a life.
Thank you, teacher.
Good to see you.
Hello, Son. Hi, Sir Sham.
Hello, hello.
We've been watching some good videos and just talking about different things. Bien says, hi, Flor. Kavian. He says, hi, how are you? Bien, are you from Philippines too? Is he from Philippines, Flourish?
Yes, teacher.
I remember you now.
Yes, teacher. He said that big kabayan. It means my countryman.
Yes, I still have that food that you mentioned, Bien, and I need to research that. It's on my desktop, and you just reminded me because I want to get that recipe and make that food. Proud Pinoy. What is Pinoy, Flourish?
Pinoy? It's a Filipino. It's the name of a people living in the Philippines. Pinoy means Filipino. In short, Pinoy. I may say, I'm Pinoy. Everyone. Yeah.
I'm Pinoy. I'm making a note. See, I'm learning too. Oh, that's great.
Just like, yes, teacher.
We have a lot of new
people living in the Philippines. Yes,
hello,
teacher.
And welcome
Sorry
to
for
all
interruption.
Pinoy. No, we all talk all over each other, and that's totally normal on Hallow. It's just the way it goes. So we have a lot of new people coming. Annie is here. Hello. And Ash back from India. Thank you for coming and joining us. Gautam just got here. I'm new from this group. I'm joined here. Oh boy, we're going to work with you, Gautam, on your sentence structure and what you're trying to say. It's only because I care. Okay. We never answered Alexander's question. Sun is one of the people here visiting us on our stream. She says, yes, teacher. And she says, flourish, welcome. So Alexander was wondering, why are they using the word sun? And it's because Sun is here and they're celebrating that we have this wonderful person named Sun in our live stream today. Okay. So the other one, let's see, teacher, I'm getting late. Can you please answer my question? Poor Alexander. Did I answer it? He really wanted to know who Sun was. So meet Sun. Sun, say hello to Alexander. Okay, and sir, to be a sir is if you live in UK, you know, that's United Kingdom and they have kings and queens, right? So sir is if the queen or the king knights someone, and that's Knight, a knight. Have you heard of knight in shining armor?
Armor, yes, the savior.
Yeah, the armor.
Superhero.
Superheroes, yes. So the knights in England were the superheroes and the heroes. And if you are knighted, you will go to the king or the queen's castle and they will do this thing with the sword and they put it on both of your, I don't know how they do it, but they knight you, Knight. You become a knight. And after that, everyone has to call you sir. Sir Arthur, right? Is it Sir Arthur? Right. The knighthood award. Good, Annie. You guys know it. Okay. So,
but I think it's also true that people around the world just call men sir as a sign of respect.
That's correct. But they don't say Sir Shamsuddin. They say yes, sir. Like in our military, yes, sir.
Right.
Right. You call them sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
Or ma'am. And that's why you guys are calling me ma'am all the time. It's a respectful term and it's very serious, respectful. But if you say Sir Jim, that means he's a knight because you said sir before his name. Now you could call him Mr., but you'd say the last name. Mr. Norton. He's Jim Norton. Shamsuddin is his you call it Sufi name? Right? And so CC, we're all getting multilingual around here. Have you noticed? I bet you already knew a lot of languages, didn't you, Shams? Because you studied so many different religions.
No, I wish I had studied more languages, but I think it is absolutely true that the more you study different languages, the easier it is to learn a new language.
I agree. Like they say with musical instruments, if you can play one musical instrument, you can pretty much go around to other ones and play. I'm beginning to kind of see that.
Yeah, me too. I've got a guitar, a violin, a flute, and I just got a miniature saxophone and my drum set.
Cool.
If I play
one man band.
One man band.
You got it all. Oh gosh. Well, Miriam has some wisdom here.
Okay.
Go ahead. Actually, what?
Oh, actually, one of these days I'll take you into my music room and we can have some fun. I'll wait till what's his name comes on. Your musical. What?
Rahat Ali. Yeah. See, I was hoping he would stay with us and jam today. We jammed earlier. He made me miss a class. I was having too much fun. So Miriam says Arthur Conan Doyle. I would capitalize Conan and Doyle if it's proper and it's his name, Miriam. Writer of it's Sherlock, Sher, Sherlock Holmes. Also needs to be capitalized. That's his name. He uses the word sir a lot. Arthur, he calls him sir in the story.
Sir Sherlock. I think Sherlock Holmes was knighted.
Was he? He probably was.
I think so.
Somebody Google it. We want to be informed around here. We're all just kind of hearsay. And Ferris, where'd you go? You're really good about looking it up in the dictionary and stuff. Manchu says, hi, I'm beginner. I need to improve my English. Your different advices can help me. Oh, that's a pretty good sentence. I think I'd say your advice could help me, or I'd like to have some different advice, please. But that's pretty good. You do need a period on the end of your sentence. So, Flourish, can you help Manchow, or can anybody in the comments help Manchow? Let's help Manchow. We're trying to support each other in learning English. What do you think, Flourish?
Yes, teacher. In my practice, in my opinion, teacher, I used to read books that is really in my field of interest, and sometimes watching video clips or movies with the script and try to imitate those words. And
Mimic.
also, if there are such words that you don't know, just like those vocabulary, just copy paste it, go on Google Translate, and you may know the meaning, and then the right way to pronounce it, and you may take note. You have a small notes or sticker to post it in your place so that you may memorize it or use in an example in your daily life. Then after all, it's just a kind of input in your mind. Then whenever you talk with other people, you may try to practice it. So you can practice also to some online friends, and you may also go on Instamatch to practice with other people, because in their place there's a lot of person who really wants to improve their speaking skill, their English as well. So if you don't know anyone, you may go on Instamatch only. Yeah,
that's great.
That's for me.
That's
my
of
practice,
ways.
teacher.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can improve. And it's kind of interesting how you're sharing your tips and tricks. There are some things in there that I hadn't thought of. So really
practice
good.
Every day.
Yeah, there you go. Practice every day, guys. And Preet spelled ma'am right. High five, Preet. It's a contraction.
High five, Yen.
apostrophe A-M. Okay, and Bear said he's going to look that up for us, guys. We are so lucky to have all these intelligent people with us today. So Miriam says, for beginners, I prefer watching cartoons, then interviews. After that, short movies. Since I find reading is not that great, is maybe what you're trying to say, Miriam? If one can't understand it. I find reading's not that great if one can't understand it. Correct. So that's why, beginner, some of the stories are really sweet and cute, and adults can get a lot out of them. I've been teaching the littles. We need to be more like children, right? We're also serious and everything. So definitely some good suggestions. Find some fun things. I know on the internet they have one that's short songs. Is it short silly songs or something like that? It's for beginners, but they're just so cute, and they cover a lot of things like idioms, the things that you're trying to understand. Oh, Alexander's got a good one. Flourish, could you read Alexander's pinned comment?
Yes, teacher.
Good one.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Practice daily. Listen English songs, movies, and stories.
Right. That was almost perfect.
Right.
It was perfect speaking,
Yeah,
Flourish.
I agree.
Alexander, there's one thing I would change. Listen to English songs, movies, and stories. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You got two in the first sentence, so be sure and say it in the next one. Listen to English songs, movies, and stories. Thank you. Great advice. Is that helping you? Yeah. Was it a typing mistake? I thought so, Alexander. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Annie, ma'am, I know I'm cute and jolly, but I have to tell you something. It's because I care. Ma'am is spelled M-A''A''. Okay, it's a contraction for madame, and we're not putting the D in it. The way you teach is amazing. Enjoy yourself and teach us. I just do it for fun, just to entertain myself. particularly on Hallow. Oh, it's so fun. So, you know, Hallow does have these courses that are coming out. And if any of you can afford them, we'd really love that because that would help Teacher Sky quite a bit. All of you people like Shamsuddin and Flourish who hop on, now they are helping Teacher Sky to be able to continue because guess what? This is my job. I know I'm having way too much fun, but you are the people that support me and make it possible for me to keep coming back. Because if you guys were not my subscribers and you didn't donate, like last time you were here, Flourish, you donated. That was so sweet. That is what pays my internet. Seriously. So I'm a starving college student working on a PhD, and hopefully when I graduate, I'm hoping to be a Hallow teacher. I want to be a full-time Hallow teacher, and I want Hallow to be successful because I know it's already successful. It's helping so many people. And, you know, some of the people I've done Instamatch with have told me how, you know, they've only been on Hallow a few months, and they are so conversational. I can't believe it. So these courses are just going to be some really tight, formal instruction where you get a certificate, you get the AI, artificial intelligence test that gives you your score. You get the one-on-one time, you get small classes. You really get what you're paying for with these classes. And what these classes will do will allow some of the Hallow teachers to stay here, because I know a lot of people have come and gone. Hallow's only been here a couple of years, but they've had some amazing teachers, and it just really is hard to make a living. So that's why I keep my other little gigs. I teach the Chinese children in the middle of the night. I wake up so early. And another reason I'd really like to do this, and I'd like to give Hallow those hours, because then Flourish wouldn't have to stay up so late, because my schedule's going to be getting later. So, oh, here we go. Ferris has it. He looked it up, you guys. What a scholar. Oh, Ferris. Flourish, could you read Ferris' comment?
Yes, teacher. Sherlock Holmes was knighted for his journalistic work during the Boer War. Did I read it right?
Yeah, I think so.
Boer, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that Sherlock Holmes was knighted, and that's why he was called a sir. And that's why they kept calling him sir. Oh, that's perfect. So you answered a lot of questions for us, Ferris. And I am just so glad to see you again, because I checked several times and said, where is Ferris? Where is Ferris? And you're back. Are you going to share some poetry with us, Ferris? Are you going to do a live stream and do some poetry? I hope you do. Gudam says, oh, I'm so sorry, but you can get better. My pronounce isn't good. How can I improve it? My pronunciation is the proper word, and you need a period on the end of that sentence. So to pronounce, we played a video earlier, and you'll want to look it up. It's all over social media, and it's one of our Hallow guys. He's talking about shadowing. It's Devin, one of the Hallow team, and he talks about shadowing. And if you want to pronounce words, you shadow. You say it after the person, like the teacher, or if you're maybe watching a movie, you would listen and then say it after them. Should we shadow some words? How about this one? Pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
Can you say it? Pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
It's 5 syllables, guys. That's a hard word. Shams, can you say it? Sometimes you really help with your, because you can speak so well. Pronunciation. So you guys at home, he's off doing something.
Pronunciation.
Yeah. So that's what you would do, Gutam, is you would pronounce it after they do and practice and make sure you get all of the syllables and that you say it correctly. And you can do that with different videos you watch too. Listen to the word and then you say it. Also, when you look up the definition of a word, there's always the pronunciation, the way it sounds. It's written out like it sounds, and that might help you. It shows you a little apostrophe above the certain syllable that is stressed. And when I said pronunciation, I think I stressed the first syllable, didn't I? Pronunciation. And sometimes they stress different syllables, but it makes the word a different word when you do that. I know. I'm just trying to confuse you. So Alexander has another really good one. These are so good. Oh,
if
okay,
you're
Flourish.
determined to learn, no one can stop you. By Zig Ziglar.
Zig Ziglar. You know him, huh? He's a very motivational speaker. You said his name perfect and you pronounced everything perfect. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's great, Ferris. We love having you. Excellent, excellent, excellent. You're so great to be here. So Preet says sometimes, okay, we're going to have to pin it because now we have to fix your sentence structure too. Ma'am is spelled right. Woohoo! Yay! So Preet.
Okay, I want to make a suggestion for
okay.
you to take to the Hollow. You seem to have a good connection with all the Hollow people.
I try.
And my suggestion is
with everyone, actually. Yeah.
And it would really benefit them as well, is that they should give 5 scholarships a month to each of their, maybe they could just say, their top teachers so they don't get overwhelmed. And then you could give out 5 scholarships every month, which would really be increasing your salary, but it would also be helping Hollow because, people want to get on and chat with you. They want to learn English. That's why I'm going to, live stream my class on Zoom so I can have 25 people talking. If we're going to have to manage that. And
that's a lot of people. Yeah.
Well, I'm dreaming, I'll start with 3 or 4, but I could bring up 8 people at a time as long as they took turns talking. And we could all repeat like you do, where if I'm learning Farsi, he says a phrase in Farsi and we each repeat it.
Yeah.
Because you think
it's
about
a great way to learn.
Yeah, that's how we learned as children.
Yep.
When you went to school, the reading that you did, wasn't it like simple children's books like Dick and Jane was mine,
Yep.
And that's how we learned.
I had Ted and Sally.
Yeah, okay.
See Ted run. See Sally run.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's how we gained confidence to speak, by saying these simple sentences. And, you got over your fear of talking in front of the other students because the teacher said, will you read that? Okay. See Sally run. See Sally. And they had a dog named Spot and all that.
That's the one. Yep. You remember that. Now, I've got a good one for you. It's kids songs, super simple songs. And I'm going to give you the link to this. It's a YouTube channel, and they're children's, and they're just so cute. We use them in a lot of my classes. My internet's really slow, but I will give you the link. This is a
checkers game where grandson and granddad.
I'm sorry, we're not going to play checkers.
Oh, that's
this is the kitchen.
I remember that ad.
You remember that ad? Okay, I'm skipping the ad.
4 seconds, you can kill it.
Oh, yeah. So this aside, I just want to show you. Okay. That was crazy. Here's an example of some of the videos. They are just so cute and fun to learn with. This one's I Love the Mountains. Here we go. Super simple songs.
I love the mountains. I love the rolling hills. I love the flowers.
I love the daffodils.
I love the fireside
when the lights are low.
Boom diada, boom diada,
boom diada.
I love the mountains. I love the rolling hills. I love the flowers. I love the daffodils. I love the fireside when the lights are low. Boom diada, 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 boom diada. I love the mountains. I love the rolling hills. I love the flowers. love the daffodils. I love the fireside when the lights are low. Boom diada, 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 boom diada.
It's time for our picnic. So cute. Boom diada, boom diada. Here we go.
I love the mountains. I love the rolling hills. I love the flowers. I love the daffodils. I love the fireside when the lights are low. Boom diada, 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 boom diada.
That is so cute.
I hate to say this, but I know that song. I knew that song before you.
Really?
It's an elementary song.
He didn't want to
So,
admit
Teacher
it.
Sky, I have to go because I have to make some official phone calls.
This has been a long live stream. 8:30 today. Oh gosh, I think I've been up here for a couple of hours. I can see how they do 7-hour stream. So I will take your suggestion. I think that's really good. I agree with a lot of what you said there.
Oh, good, because I really do think they could afford to lose $5 for 5 people. What's that? $25 of. They're paying you. They're just giving you a gift of $25 in a way, or whatever. No, they're giving you a percentage because you don't even get all of the subscription
stipend. Yeah, we get a percentage, but you know, it's a business and we are entrepreneurs or teacherpreneurs, they call us. And basically, yeah, you know, the work that we do on Hallow, they have to keep this app going. And that costs a lot. You know, they have employees, they have marketing, they have all of their curriculum building and all of that. So yeah, they have to make money too. And that's why they take a percentage. Because if I wanted to make money and not share with Hallow, I could go to YouTube and have my YouTube channel. I could have my website and I could charge people and I could see the infrastructure. But man, I don't want to build all that. I'll let Hallow build it. I want to teach.
Right.
Yeah.
And but they would benefit from their, you know, it'd be like reinvesting in your company to give
the teachers. Yeah, that's true.
And maybe they could only afford to do it for 10 or 15 teachers. Fine, do it for the top 10.
Yeah,
you'd be in that group. So
they're just, that would be so hard to pick who they are and everything. Oh boy. But yeah, that I like the idea. I would like to have just some kind of salary to start and then be able to build on that and make more if you're really good and everything. Oh, I didn't give you guys the link, did I? My apologies. Because
Dean,
Super Simple Songs is what it's called on YouTube. And I'll put the link up here.
Have some, spare some time for karaoke.
Karaoke.
Oh, yeah, karaoke sessions. Yeah.
Now this
something
website,
chairs also do that.
I should show this. I'm going to show this website and then I'll give you the link because this has all of it. Oh, this is so well done, you guys. It's called Super Simple Songs or supersimple.com. Okay, so now you can choose. Look at all of this. This is a whole website. Songs, shows, themes. They have an app, recipes. Oh my gosh, crafts, activity. Oh, wow, this is fun. Choose a theme. Oh my goodness, I didn't know they had themes. Action verbs, alphabet spelling, animals, farm animals, jungle animal. Oh my goodness, it goes on and on. Bugs, classroom management, cleanup, dance party, dinosaurs, games, greetings. Oh, there's some different hellos, greetings. Pirates, occupy. I mean, they have everything. Weather, transportation. You see all that, guys? Okay, and then here's a playlist. You can choose for chants, rhymes, if you like the poetry, guys. Oh yeah, circle time. Oh, I guess where kids gather around in a circle. Classic nursery rhymes, cumulative songs, finger play songs, Great songs for classroom management. Oh, these are just so good. Look at all of these. Just silly songs, songs that encourage, pretend to play, teach animal sounds, songs with ing verbs. So,
Great.
okay, I'm going to give you this link. It's just so fun. All of you that are asking these questions, how can I get better? This is a fun one for you. And you know, we're Team Ed Tech Heads, and we share technology and tools that we use to learn and to practice English. So that is a really good tool, and I'll pin that one.
And I will say namaste, namaste go.
Aww.
Bye, everybody. Love you all.
Namaste.
Bye-bye. Good to see you. Thank you for the poetry. Awesome. We always like to have our poet with us. Yes. Okay. Now, Ferris asked a question. Hefty. This is so fancy way to describe vocabulary. Hefty? No. No. Hefty is more like a heavy thing. Hefty. I tell you, you know, we have these trash bags. They're like plastic. You put your trash in and it's a bag. And the brand is Hefty. It makes me think of trash bags when you use that word. And it's funny how brands of different things you start calling things by the brand name. Can you think of any of those? They have one that's a tissue, like a piece of paper, tissue, but the manufacturer is called Kleenex. So they say, could I have a Kleenex? What about sodas? Do you know cola? Do you just say, I want a Coke? Coca-Cola is the company. And they're do you say I want a Pepsi or a different kind of the brand? So sometimes they call the brand, you know, I want a Coke. Alexander, my battery is flat. I have to go. My battery is flat.
Go.
Do you mean your tire is flat?
Happy.
If you have a flat tire, you can't have a flat battery. Batteries aren't flat.
It needs to recharge.
There, it's dead, is what you would say. My battery is dead.
Yeah.
I need to recharge it. Right, Ferris Coke. Discharged? No. Discharged. No, they do that like when someone is in the military and then they give them a discharge. That means they're not in the military anymore. You're discharged. Okay, you don't discharge a battery. You run it down. It's dead. You run the battery down is how you say it. Alexander speaks like a native British. Oh, is that what they say? Really, Ferris? You guys, it takes one to know one. I am so American. I didn't know that. So, Flourish, do you have anything that you would like to share with the group?
I'm sorry, teacher. I have nothing. I want to say thank you for actively participating.
Yeah.
I'm also learning with the whatever they pin it on the comment. So
I am too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn from you all. We all learn from each other. So the Socratic method is the teacher talking to the students, and then the students tell them about it. And I'll tell you this, the school that I got my master's degree and where I'm getting my PhD, it's Walden University. They're online. I'll even type it in here because I really love this university. A higher degree with a higher purpose, okay? They're very inclusive. And basically, I was in another school before that, and I've been a teacher forever. But you know how in school you have to memorize a lot of stuff and you take a lot of tests and, you know, it's kind of rote memorization. You remember it, you take the test, and you just forget it, right? You don't ever use the information. In the school I attend, we're doing this new method for learning, and it's because of the internet. And, you know, my degree is education technology. And basically, you are learning from each other now. This is the new way we're learning in the world. And you all need to know this because this is where we're going with it. All of you who are learning English right now are at the beginning. Okay, this is just the beginning, and you guys are pivotal. Those of you you're just so ambitious about learning your English. You don't have anyone in your country that you can speak to, and you come here and you find this is where it's at. And you people who are learning Flourish and Alexander and Fairs, and all of you are going back into your countries and your families and you're teaching, right? Because you're learning it and you want to practice, you want to have someone to share it with, and that's helping them. And what it's going to do is like a ripple effect. because you're going to be teaching more people than I could ever reach because you're there with them. So there's this huge revolution going on, and you all are a big part of it. And how we're doing it is learning from each other. It's called collaborative learning. I call it the blind leading the blind, because if you don't have someone who is an instructor and that does have some education, you could, and like in your native countries on the little live streams that some of you students do, sometimes you say the wrong words a lot and no one's there to correct you, right? Because you just don't know. So we do need to have different people with different knowledge. And I showed the video earlier of the elephant. We all look at things differently from different angles, but when we come together, we can describe that elephant and we can really get an idea about what it is. So my school, we don't do tests. We don't do all that memorization. The way we learn, this is scholarly. I got my master's in science here. The teacher would put out a question, and the question, is something very hard. It's open-ended. There's not a yes, no answer. There's not a correct answer, actually. So we're all researching to find the answer to that question. And we all come with our answers and we have it cited. We have lots of footnotes and facts and evidence that we can bring forth to prove our theory of what we're saying is the answer. Right. And so then different people put all of their answers. And the first assignment is you write a paper and you answer the question and you post it. And then all the people in the class have to read, and they make two answers to two different people. So they can see my paper, like say the teacher was telling us, talk about how the light bulb was invented. Okay, so I would go and find out, it was Thomas Edison and, the year and how it was invented. And I would write my paper. And then I would have two cohorts in my classmates. They would come and they would say, well, I liked what you said about Thomas Edison, but did you know that he also worked with this person? And this also could be true. And then another person tells me, and I see it from this angle. And then I have to answer them, and we start discussing the subject. And before we know it, we know what we're talking about, because you're really learning it from your angle, and then you're hearing it from someone else, and then you're sharing it and putting the pieces together. And that's how we're creating our world now, collaboratively. Collaborative learning is the newest learning theory, besides connectivism. That's my favorite one, and that's all about the internet. And they haven't given that one the official theory designation, but I believe connectivism is a theory of learning, and we learn by being connected. But really, collaboration is what we're doing. We're collaborating. Have you ever collaborated on anything, Flourish? Do you know of collaboration in your work or anything that you've done with anyone to collaborate?
Yes, collaborate. Even making reports, in making such report, you can collaborate with your cohorts, whatever his idea. Also in Google, you try to put your reports on Google Drive and then complete the reports by collaborating with, you can try to collaborate with their idea through putting it on your Google. If, for example, you're using a Microsoft Word and it has been shared through Google Drive, so they can open that freely. So they may collaborate with the idea you may have.
I love that.
Yes,
that is it. And that's what a lot of you need to realize. Get a Gmail account right now, because the whole world is going to be using this as a method to collaborate. And that was the perfect example, Flourish. I couldn't have done it better myself with all of my education. But when you mentioned Google Drive, you go into the G Drive, you have access to Word documents. Maybe I don't have to pay my subscription to Microsoft anymore. I don't do Word very good. But every document has to be a Word doc, right? You have to save it .doc, right? Okay, on
Word doc.
Yeah, Word doc.
You can also do with Excel,
spreadsheet,
Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint.
And PowerPoints.
Yes.
They don't call it that in Google. They call it Google Slides. And instead of Excel spreadsheet, they just call it spreadsheet. But you can download it with the what is it? Excel. How do they look at spreadsheets? Yeah.
That Excel, yes, teacher.
Yeah. So then, go ahead.
Yes, teacher. If it's on Excel, it may say spreadsheet, and if you download it, it will convert into .xlsx or Excels only.
XLS. Okay.
XLS.
That's
Yes.
it. That's it. So you can actually get it as an official kind of Microsoft-ish looking document when you're done. I'm not knocking Microsoft, but I just personally, I'm not a PC person. And, you know, people look at things differently. So Google is just so easy to use. And the beauty of it is me and Flora, she's in Philippines, anywhere around the world, we could work on the same document at different times. Maybe, you know, it's midnight for her, but it's early morning for me, and I could get on and work on it. And then when it's early morning for her, she could come and we can talk to each other, have little comments, but you can actually collaborate and have living documents, living work that you're working on all at the same time. I know some scientists that are doing that. In fact, some of my Hallow students are amazing. What you guys are doing, I'm just really impressed. But they're researchers who are trying to get together and solve a lot of the world's problems. And the way they're doing it is by collaborating and using these tools. They're just exciting.
Yeah.
Alexander says, my device hangs a lot when I use the Hallow app. That's why I always make typing mistakes. I understand, Alexander. It's probably just the speed of your internet, because I'm very fortunate. I'm plugged in, but when I use my phone, I'm Wi-Fi, and I get a lot of those same things. And, you know, it's a really powerful app, so it has a lot going on, and it is a little slower in some ways. Ferris, I love your compliments, and I thought it was funny what you said about the elephant. I'm glad you said you were kidding. Okay. All right. Is there anything else, guys? Making thesis or research paper requires collaboration. Yeah, somewhat. It depends. If you're working in a group, Outlook is also a good way to share Microsoft Office documents. Right, Outlook. We have that at our school. We use Outlook. You use them all, Fairs? Yeah, there's some really, you're a tech head. You belong to Team Ed Tech Head. Excellent. Well, great. I think I'm out of steam. How are you doing, Flourish? You about ready for bed? Is it late for you?
No, it's okay for me, teacher. I'm practicing to wake up later to be present because as you mentioned, by a little bit later of 2 hours, so I'm practicing right now.
You're getting ready for that. Maybe that's where all my subscribers are. They're getting ready to have to come get up late. Next week, I start at this time. Well, it's 10:30. I would start 30 minutes before now. So all of you who are here can attend in the future. If you're awake and you're alive and you're willing, we would definitely like to work with you and collaborate to learn English together. So next week, Teacher Sky starts at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's right now, 10:30. Okay. And that's when this live stream will be. And maybe that's why I'm kind of going longer to get everybody acclimated and kind of used to the new schedule, because next week I start the Hallow course job and we'll see how it goes. I need people to sign up, but it's a great opportunity. Teacher. Yeah, thank you, Flourish. And I really am. I'm hoping and praying that Hallow will do well and that we can stay here as teachers and you all can continue to learn from us and get a lot of good information that is solid and makes you a very formal English speaker. So you can pass all those exams and teach all the people there in your homes and in your countries. That would just be awesome. All right, guys. Well, if we don't have anything else, last chance, last call.
We will be looking forward
Excellent.
to joining you.
Ferris is going to be back next week. All right. I want to hear some of your poetry, Ferris. I would love for you to. Maybe could you record something we could play on our TV show, Ferris? Oh, that'd be so cool. All right, guys. I think we're done. Well, thank you, Flourish.
Thank you so much, teacher.
Glad you made it.
Your live stream took so long. I think it's almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, this one was 2 hours. So I did good. I think I'm breaking a record. I'm not Ryan yet. I don't know how he does it. Oh, you guys are wonderful. Well, thank you for being here, and I will see you next week, okay?
Thank you, too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes, teacher. Thank you, too. Bye-bye, everyone.
Teacher Sky signing off. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome work. Awesome work. Keep practicing. And study every day. Okay? Practice every day. Thanks, guys. Bye, YouTube. Bye, Facebook. Bye, Twitter.